Hi guys, welcome back on Sports Khabri, Curious Harry, Arun Foot. A very controversial and a very dramatic match just took place between Malaysia and India. Not a lot of positives for India. Um, a lot of disappointments, a lot of things to talk about. I'll first go to Hiren. Hiren, your first thought on the match.
आई थिंक इस मैच में सब कुछ था। कंट्रोवर्सी थी, एंटरटेनमेंट था, गोल्स थे, पुअर डिफेंडिंग थी, सारी चीजें थी, एटमोस्फियर था, फैंस का सपोर्ट था, एवरीथिंग। जो एक आप मैच से वर्स्ट रेफरिंग थी, जो एक फुटबॉल मैच से आप एक्सपेक्ट करते हो कि ये सारी चीजें होगी ही, वो सारी की सारी चीजें हमें देखने को मिली। एंड एज ए फैन मतलब रिजल्ट के हिसाब से अगर आप देखो तो 4-2 लॉस इज ए डिसअपॉइंटिंग थिंग। लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से मेरे को कुछ पॉजिटिव चीजें भी यहाँ पे लगी है। ऐसा नहीं है कि पर्टिकुलरली हमारी फ्रंट लाइन, सहल, चांगते, महेश एंड सुनील छेत्री, इन चारों का कॉम्बो पहली बार साथ एक क्लिक करता हुआ दिखा है, जो हमें साफ एंड इंटरकॉन्टिनेंटल में, क्योंकि सहल उतना ज्यादा इम्पैक्टफुल नहीं हो रहे थे। लेकिन आज जो सहल का गेम था तो मेरे को मच बेटर लगा। अगर थोड़ी सी अच्छी पिच होती, क्योंकि पिच हमको पता है कि दिस इज नॉट दी फुटबॉल पिच मतलब, और अगर मैच से 5 मिनट पहले भी अगर आप पानी छिड़क रहे हो तो उसका पता चल जाना, मतलब पता ही था कि पिच कैसे होने वाली है। सो आई थिंक दैट्स द पॉजिटिव फॉर मी। एंड नो डाउट मलेशिया के सामने हार गए, सारी चीजें है, लेकिन आई थिंक काफी सारी चीजें हमने अच्छी भी की है। फ्रंट लाइन में जैसे मैंने बोला, बैक लाइन डेफिनेटली इट नीड्स टू वर्क ऑन, कि जहाँ पे हमारी थोड़ी सी हम क्या बोलते हैं एक्सपोज हो गए हैं, कि एक अनवर अली के ना होने से इतना ज्यादा आपकी बैकलाइन, मतलब आज बैकलाइन मेरे को लगा कि पर्टिकुलरली गुरप्रीत सिंह संधू एंड संदेश जिंगान, मेरे को लगे कि वो फोकस ही नहीं है मैच के ऊपर। उनका जो फोकस है, कॉन्सेंट्रेशन दिखना चाहिए, वही कहीं ना कहीं मिस लग रहा था। मतलब जो एक आप कुछ बेसिक मिस्टेक जो आप जनरली देखते नहीं हो कि हमारे प्लेयर करते हैं इतना इजीली, वो मिस्टेक उनसे हो रही थी, डिसीजन ही बना नहीं पा रहे थे। सो आई थिंक ये सारी चीजें हैं कि जो हमें और ज्यादा, क्योंकि आप देखिए एक तो मेरे को लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा सा एटमोस्फियर का और जिस तरह से फैन का सपोर्ट था मलेशिया को, वो भी एक फैक्टर इन रहा होगा। क्योंकि आई डोंट थिंक सो कि इंडिया के किसी भी प्लेयर ने पिछले 2-3 साल में इस तरह के एनवायरमेंट में मैचेस खेले हैं जो आज का मैच था। सो वो भी एक फैक्टर इन कर जाता है। एंड बैकलाइन नीड्स टू इम्प्रूव, उसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है। एंड मिडफील्ड में भी आपके पास जिक्सन एक चला जाता है तो आप एक्सपोज हो जाते हो, जिक्सन एंड थापा के जाने के बाद। सो वहां पे भी आपके पास ऑप्शन था, प्रिया की डिस्कशन आएंगे, हम आगे बात करेंगे। सो आई थिंक दोज टू एरियाज की जहाँ पे हम एक्सपोज हुए हैं, एंड वहां पे हमें रियलिटी में मतलब क्या बोलते हैं कि सच में काम करने की जरूरत है अगर हम अच्छा कुछ करना चाहते हैं वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स एंड क्या बोलते हैं कि एशियन कप में। मैं ऐसा नहीं बोलूंगा कि हम कि हमारे लिए सब कुछ खत्म हो गया है, क्योंकि काफी सारे फैंस को ये एक्सपेक्ट आ रहा है फीलिंग की अब खत्म, अब कुछ नहीं हो सकता। आई डोंट थिंक सो कि एवरीथिंग इज बीन ओवर। आई थिंक स्टिल देयर इज ए मतलब चांस है, ऐसा नहीं है कि बिल्कुल मतलब कुछ नहीं हो सकता है, अभी भी टीम अच्छी है। आई थिंक इट्स जस्ट कि जैसे मैंने बोला कि ये कुछ रीजन थे, ऑब्वियसली रेफरी, एंड उसके बारे में हम आगे डिस्कस करेंगे, रेफरी पिच के बारे में। सो दिस इज माय इनिशियल थॉट अबाउट द मैच।
Rahul, your first thoughts.
It's weird because in terms of the game, we had opportunities to come back. Obviously, we had the disallowed goal. It was clearly in. The ball was in, but wasn't given. After that, there were chances. Sahal had a tap in which he didn't put away. Again, that would have made the game interesting. And we did create in the second half, but the first half we were so poor, so poor in the first half. Simple mistakes. Again, like the giveaways were bad. One thing you have to give Malaysia's, their pressing was really good. They had certain trigger points when the centre backs had it. When the ball came in from a fullback, that's when the press was triggered, and they did it very well because our centre backs were poor today. On the ball, I'm talking about. Sandesh and Mehta didn't look comfortable. Um, little worrying. Again, the manner in which we conceded the goals is very worrying because we didn't make Malaysia do much. We didn't ask them to come and score the goals. We gifted the goals to them. So, in a way, it was disappointing to see that. But yeah, going forward, a lot of positive. Sahal was brilliant. I actually, although we said Roshan should start ahead of Pujari, I think Nikhil was really good. He always beat his man whenever he was in trouble as well on the right hand side. So he played really well. Positives on that front. But again, we spoke about the midfield at the halftime break. I remember Hiren and Arnav, we spoke about it. But I don't think the midfield in the first half, like they didn't have to do much. Like it was, we conceded because of our errors. Mahesh's error for one. We conceded because of penalty, which was Nikhil Pujari's error, and we conceded from a set piece. I don't know how because they didn't have the height. or the advantage in the box, we should be dominating balls in the air, at least in our own half. So yeah, it's a weird one, but yeah, I think in terms of ability, their front three really good. Like the guy who was playing on the left, I don't know his name, but he was so good on the ball, very comfortable. Same thing on the right hand side. Their front four were really good and technically better. So yeah.
Guys, 116 people watching us right now. Please like the stream. Once you like the stream, then a lot more people get to know about it. Subscribe to all the 4 channels: Arun Food, Curious Harry, Sports Khabri, Shine's Indian Food and Football. Shine is not here tonight with us, but he'll be joining tomorrow. I know lots of questions for you personally from my side at least. Firstly, your thought on the match, and of course, we will be moving to the refereeing errors also. When such a thing happens, in when national teams are playing, how do the federations take it forward, from the complaining perspective or from raising concerns? Because over here the pitch was not right as well. Thankfully there were not any accidents, but it could have happened.
See, I asked the question, do you know why the pitch was in such a state? I ask you the questions, simple question. And ask everyone in the chat also, do you know?
Yes,
you know why?
yes.
बताओ, हिरन बताओ.
उसको क्योंकि उनको पता था कि इंडिया का पासिंग गेम है, वो नहीं करना चाहते थे.
No, हिरन नहीं. No. This grass was installed a few days ago.
हाँ, वो कुछ दिन पहले
लगाया. And the point
हाँ.
is very simple. The grass has not stuck. So that's why you saw chunks of the grass coming out. So that was the simple problem. The grass was not stuck.
लेकिन सर नहीं, समझ में ये नहीं आया कि मैच के स्टार्ट होने से 10 मिनट पहले तक पानी का वहां पे क्या बोलते कि वो स्प्रे हो रहा था.
That you do around the world. If you have the water capabilities, normally you water the pitch before the game. That is nothing special. The point to me is this match pitch was not ready for a match.
Exactly.
That's the question. Because again, I don't know if you saw that one Changte corner where Changte actually shot the ball behind the goal in the second half.
Yeah.
And Changte actually had this much of grass in his hand and he put it down again and he's looking at it. He's looking back and kya ho raha hai idhar? And that was the problem. So they installed a new pitch. They wanted to do the right thing, but most probably they did it too late. Anyway, that's the whole thing, right?
I think इसका कोई penalty fine होता है क्या?
नहीं. There's no standard. So the ground was not ready. So again, whoever is the pitch consultant to have worked on this, he will have a lot of things to hear from the Malaysian side. Surely, you also saw. I don't know if you saw pre-match. The General Secretary of the Asian Football Confederation, Daruk Seri, Windsor John, was also there. So Windsor is very serious about these things. So this will be noted.
नहीं, उसको फिर वो जो यहाँ पे इंडिया में आके वो बोल के गया कि कोची का स्टेडियम ऐसा है, तो अपने वहाँ पे पहले पिच ठीक करो. आप क्या कर रहे हो ये एफसी जनरल सेक्रेटरी बनके? तो आपको फीफा आपको स्टेडियम बना के दे रहे हैं.
It's not. No.
वो बंदा तो वहीं का है ना.
No. It's not his job.
बंदा तो वहीं का है, मलेशिया का.
It doesn't matter. Hiren, you're pushing the blame to someone wrong. What he's raised with Kochi is a serious concern, which in India nobody takes seriously. Javier Shepi raised that topic in 2017. So let's not get into that discussion. जो लोग कब हो गया और क्या हो गया, right? That's the mentality. जुगाड़ करते हो.
मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ.
The point here is that this match pitch was not ready. Right?
Ready. Exactly.
Period. And then if we continue, go on. The referee penalty, soft, but can be given for Malaysia. It's not a one where I'd say was wrong, right?
Yeah.
And the point is there. It's the linesman. It's the assistant referee job on that side, and he's standing on that side to see that the ball has crossed the line, because the referee cannot see it. If you're standing, there's no angle where the referee can see it. So the blame to the referee. That's why the referee said, I don't know, I have to go out.
But Arnav sir, but I want to understand कि सुनील छेत्री वहाँ पे indicate कर रहे थे this you can say
exactly. I was trying to understand what
why is referring to that.
Yeah. What is he?
Ah.
Why?
There
Why
is,
did he
That's the
because
score?
I
biggest
think
question.
Sunil didn't know that there is no VAR.
Okay. Yeah.
How can he not know there's no VAR?
Ah.
Was
Yeah,
he
but
maybe trying to say see the recap or something else?
no, it doesn't matter.
I see. The point is, I don't know if the teams today had an iPad or something of that on the sidelines to look at it. Now, if the referee goes out and has a look at a device which is not a VAR, that is not allowed by the rules of football, which is in a way
तो ये
stupid, one would
तो
say.
ये
But
नहीं ये भी तो रूल्स में अलाउड नहीं है ना. ये भी तो रूल्स ही है कि इसको क्या बोलते हैं आपकी जो गोल स्कोरिंग लाइन है उसके बाद उसके अंदर जाए तो गोल होता है. ये भी तो रूल्स ही है.
Also,
जैसे
yeah,
वो
but
I
अलाउ
they
नहीं
want
didn't
to
करता.
see
ask
it. No,
one
जैसे ये गोल अलाउ करता है ना.
the question is, the question is, what did the linesman see or what the linesman didn't see? So that's the question, right? The linesman has to see it. That's his job. He's there
नहीं
on the
नहीं
line.
Guys, 211 people.
but biggest
Plus
question is why he
211
didn't.
So 211 people watching us.
नहीं नहीं मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है सर. मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि उसने रेफरी के साथ डिस्कशन भी ज्यादा नहीं किया. उसने तुरंत अपना डिसीजन देना दिया.
And
I don't
also
know. He's wrong. He was wrong. Bas khatam. There's no discussion. It was a goal. Pin it. We don't need to discuss it. It was a goal, right? So that point is, and people are saying that the linesman gave a goal and referee overruled. Did he do that?
No,
I
no.
didn't see that. I did not see that. I don't know where you guys are coming from.
He
Because
didn't.
नहीं लाइन्समैन ने मना कर दिया.
That's what I thought.
Linesman
I
didn't.
thought the linesman said that it wasn't a goal. That was my again. We are far away. We didn't see क्या उधर हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है. We didn't see the interaction, so it's very difficult for us to really judge.
एक चीज सर आपने नोट की उनके ब्रॉडकास्टिंग ने स्मार्टली किया कि वो जो कंट्रोवर्शियल डिसीजन है उसको बार-बार नहीं दिखा रहे थे क्योंकि उनको पता है कि जब बार-बार दिखाओगे उतना ज्यादा क्लियर होता रहेगा. आप पेनल्टी वाला भी देख लो. एक ही बार रिप्ले दिखाया. इसका भी आप देखो एक बार रिप्ले. दो बार नहीं दो बार ऑफसाइड का.
No. It was the penalty was shown 3 times, I think.
Yeah, the goal.
And the goal was shown, I think, 3 or 4 times. 3 or 4 times later on.
Commentators
For me, I got
said
it
was a goal.
And even the one in the Malaysian one said clearly it's a goal. So
हाँ वो तो गोल था.
So therefore, it's no point. There's no point of discussion.
Yeah, very clear.
सर वो सहल वाला ऑफसाइड था. ऑफसाइड नहीं था वो. तो उसने एक चांस बन रहा था. Referee
and there was also the shot from Changte against the crossbar. That I would have liked to have seen if the ball had actually gone in or not.
No, it didn't go.
नहीं वो नहीं जा रहा था.
We saw the replay.
नहीं जा रहा था. नहीं जा रहा था.
Because I was shouting. I was on it. I was like, that's a goal.
वो नहीं जा रहा था. वो नहीं जा रहा था.
No, that didn't go in because they showed the replay. It was well out.
हाँ वो नहीं जा रहा था.
Guys, 250 people watching us. Please like this.
अरे like करो यार.
Like the streams and subscribe to the 4 channels. Arun Food, Curious Harry Sports Khabri. So we are doing these lives every night around 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. So please do join us. And so I have one question which is not related to the referees. The Malaysian defender could easily see that the goal had crossed that line. Right?
No, but but he was contesting it. The Malaysian, if you see towards the end, he and Sunil were still discussing it. So in his opinion, and again,
it didn't cross.
He thinks it didn't cross. Now, if you're in a game and you go on a pitch and he's clearing the ball, you are not focused on where the ball is. You're just clearing the ball. So
but
to ask the Malaysian defender,
looking niche, and he's clearly looking down.
No, but
Akshata, the point is when you see the ball, the line. I would not blame him.
Personally, even I wouldn't. Even if I see it going, I wouldn't say it's gone in. I wouldn't. I'm just again. There's no way I'm saying it's gone in.
कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे.
हाँ, so
मैंने
that is the point.
बोला होता तो थोड़ा सा बोलते.
No, but the point is again, I don't blame the defender, and he was trying to explain that he was doing this to Sunil and all that. Sunil is listening, like, no, it's gone in, and he's like, no, I hit it out before it crossed the line. So, and it's in the heat of the moment. So that's the point also, right? If you are not sure what has happened, you will not, and even if you know, you will not do it. It's like Manuel Neuer with that Frank Lampard goal. He just literally got the ball out and nothing happened, right? So it's heat of the
It,
moment.
it was a
So,
simple that it's a sideline referee's mistake.
but
Simple as that.
my problem is with what has happened today. We are getting distracted from two facts. One, what Hiren was saying, that attacking line was very, very good. Sahal, lovely. Mahesh had his moments. The longer the match lasted, the better chunk they got. And Sunil, with his fighting things and all that stuff he's doing and trying to gel up the troops. So in the end, those are the huge positive takeaways from this game. These four guys. And I think this was Changte's best match so far this season, that second half, I would say. What I've seen, he's not been. But on the other side, if I take the rest of the team, a lot of concerns. Starting with Gurpreet. The whole back line was shaky. And even my holding midfielders, Suresh was the better one. But sorry, Rohit Kumar, at the moment, forget being a starting 11 player for India. I don't think he deserves to be in the national team. Sorry, being this harsh. And that is something Akash Mishra needs to get his act together. He's nowhere near where you've seen him last season.
Yeah.
Sandesh, I don't know, there was something missing for me. That fire, desire, which also I thought missing in Gurpreet. They were seen more arguing also. Mehta, pathetic, sorry, also. That was not good enough for an India shirt.
मेरे लिए जो देखिए सर, मेरे लिए आकाश मिश्रा, निखिल या फिर मेहताब का तो हमको पता है कि चलो वो परफॉर्मेंस आ सकता है. उनका हमें उतना ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस भी नहीं है उनके ऊपर डिफेंसिव लाइन के हिसाब से. लेकिन संदेश और गुरप्रीत का मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया कि इन दोनों बंदे का फोकस ही मेरे को जो मैच में चाहिए आपको. जो सिंपल चीज है.
One thing we should not forget, our best defender over the last year has been a guy called Anwar Ali. Don't forget that. And I will again raise the topic that Hiren and I have been talking about. This defensive midfield needs a certain player called Apuya. Period.
100%, without a doubt. 100%. उसमें I think कोई
discussion नहीं है. Guys, you're talking about Lalchung Nunga. I don't think Lalchung Nunga is ready for this level of football. Sorry. And he would have had the same problems that Mehtab had today. And that is a concern. And again, I thought also when Roshan came in, Roshan brought a certain level of stability to his side.
Agree.
So that is something, again, we need to think about goalkeeping. Is Gurpreet our best? Amrinder? Should Vishal Gate get a chance? Who's been consistent for Mohun Bagan? We need to ask these questions. And we realize if we are missing 2, 3, 4 players, this team has a huge problem. Huge problem. And the guys were saying, oh, you know what? We could have won 5-3, 5-4. Don't forget, Malaysia could have scored 10 today. Right? So guys, let's not fool ourselves. Malaysia is ranked in the 130s, right? We are 102nd. We've been fooling ourselves, guys. Let's be honest about this. We are not a top 100 ranked nation, especially away from home. We are woeful away from home. The second half, yes, but again, we still allowed Malaysia its chances. We scored 2-3 more, no problem. But they scored 4-5. This could have ended, I don't know, 7-8, 8-6 or something. But, yeah, we will mostly talk about the refereeing. Igor Steamers will talk about refereeing. But I hope internally, he realizes that his defensive setup did not work at all today.
इसको आप चार पार्ट में ब्रेक डाउन कर सकते हो. एक तो रेफरी वाला पार्ट जो हमने ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर लिया. एक दूसरा आपका पिच का कंडीशन. तीसरा आपका डिफेंस एंड मिडफील्ड एंड चौथा अटैक. आई थिंक उसमें चारों में से एक ही पॉजिटिव है आपके लिए, अटैक. एंड अटैक में जो मेरे को एक चीज काफी सारे लोग बोल रहे कि वो गोल हो सकते थे. देखिए कंपेरेटिव टू अगर आप जीते हुए मैच है आपके होम के, उसमें भी एक चीज नोटिस करोगे कि तो आपके जो प्लेयर्स के शॉट थे उसमें और इस मैच में जिस तरह से शॉट लिए, चाहे वो सहल का पहला शॉट हो वॉली पे, महेश का जो शॉट जो पोस्ट पे हिट होके फर्स्ट गोल हो सकता था सहल का. दूसरा आप देखिए जो महेश ने स्कोर किया, चांगते ने जो शॉट लिया. कंपेरेटिव टू जो मैंने जो साथ में इन्हीं प्लेयरों को जब शॉट लेते थे इंडिया में, तो उतने ज्यादा मतलब क्या बोलते 6 रन हमने देखे. लेकिन कंपेरेटिव टू इस मैच में आप देखिए जिन्होंने भी शॉट लिया है वो एटलीस्ट शॉट ऑन टारगेट था। लिशन कोलासो का भी आप देखिए आउटसाइड बॉक्स से जो शॉट था वो सीधा गोलकीपर के पास था। तो दैट्स द पॉजिटिव थिंग कि आपकी जो फ्रंट लाइन है वो थोड़ी सी क्लिक होती हुई दिख रही है। आप मिड से भी अटैक बना रहे हो, आपके जो चारों प्लेयर का कॉम्बिनेशन है वो आई थिंक मेरे को काफी ज्यादा लीथल लगा टू बी ऑनेस्ट। अगर ऐसी पिच में वो इस तरह से खेल सकते हैं तो अगर थोड़ा सा पिच अगर अच्छा होगा तो आई थिंक वो जो पासिंग का आपको कॉन्फिडेंस है, जिस तरह से आप प्लेयर को बीट करना चाहते हो वो हो सकता है। सो आई थिंक द ओनली एरिया की जहाँ पे हमें पॉजिटिव दिखा हुआ है फ्रंट लाइन ही है। मिडफील्ड में आई थिंक करंटली इंडिया के पास जिक्सन अपुया हैज टू बी देयर विदाउट अ डाउट, नो डिस्कशन। अगर आपको वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स एंड एशियन कप में अच्छा करना है, यू नीड ए जिक्सन, यू नीड ए अपुया। सिर्फ जिक्सन से भी काम नहीं चलेगा क्योंकि हमको पता है कि सारे मैचेस वो बंदा पूरा 90 मिनट नहीं खेल पाएगा। एंड किसी को भी आप कोई भी टॉप मैनेजर को भी पूछोगे कि व्हाट इज द मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट पोजीशन इन दी फील्ड तो वो बोलेगा डिफेंसिव मिडफील्डर। वहीं से आपका सारा चलता है। एंड अगर वो आपका सही नहीं है तो आपको मिडफील्ड में दिक्कत लगती है, आपको बैकलाइन में जो मिस्टेक कर रहे थे। क्योंकि आप देखिए मेहताब के पास बॉल आ रहा है बॉक्स के अंदर, जब हमारे बॉक्स के रहा तो उसको पता नहीं है कि मेरे को क्लियर करना है पास करना है। संदेश भी उसी कंफ्यूजन में है, निखिल पुजारी भी वही कंफ्यूजन में। डीएम आपका वो रोल प्ले करता है, आपको वहां पे ऑप्शन अवेलेबल देता है, डिफेंडर को बोलता है दे मेरे को, मैं यहाँ से लेके जाता हूँ। लेकिन कोई रोहित कुमार को तो पता ही नहीं कि इधर इधर घूम रहा था, वो देख रहा था कि हाँ भाई पासिंग कर रहे हैं, पता ही नहीं है बंदे को क्या कर रहा है। So that's why Dixon and Apuya should be in this squad.
And Suresh was carrying the ball, in my opinion, too often. He had,
yes.
There was
But
one
sir,
touches and release.
वो नहीं, वो सर क्या करेगा, उसको ऑप्शन ही कोई, सारे बंदे मलेशिया की दिख रहे हैं, हमारे प्लेयर तो इधर उधर घूम रहे हैं, तो वो बंदा क्या करेगा अपने पास बॉल रखने के अलावा? दिक्कत वो थी ना।
Guys, 330 people watching us right now. Please like the stream, subscribe to all the 4 channels. Rahul, what are some of the positives that you take away from this match?
Again, positives are, of course, Sahal. I think was so good today. I think some of the lovely fakes he had out wide as well, and just love to watch him today. Actually, he was so good. Apart from him, I like Nikhil Pujari because again, every time he got the ball on the right hand side, the guy who was playing left wing for Malaysia at least fouled him 4-5 times. Didn't pick up a booking again. I wasn't happy with that because he fouled.
That's an English guy. England का left back है उनके पास.
But there's a big worry defensively for both Akash and Nikhil, whoever our fullbacks are, because today they were up against 2 guys who we generally don't see in the ISL in terms of wingers. These guys were very tricky with their feet. They were not like the most explosive. In Indian football, we have these explosive runners who can really beat you for pace. These guys were just they had very good feet and very quick feet. And both of them struggled when it was one-on-one.
I mean, Arif Ayman and Faisal Halim, those 2 guys, number 7, number 12, were all over them.
Yeah,
and you saw also that third goal where Mehtab is unable to do the interception, and then Faisal Halim runs towards the keeper. And I'm just thinking, okay, you've got 2 options. Who are you going to play the ball to? And he actually takes the shots and beats Gurpreet. That was very interesting to see, because that is going to be, India was exploited today, because in the summer, I thought our strength is our defensive unit and our problem is our attacking unit. Today, it was exactly 180 degrees opposite, because our attacking unit really clicked. Sahal, brilliant. Mahesh plays his game in a way which Mahesh only can play. And again, Chante worked his way into the game. And again, second half, I liked the way Chante played. And again, Sunil is Sunil. Again, legend, what else to say? So therefore, those were the positives. But the rest was a problem. So again, big winners today, certainly Anwar Ali. Anwar Ali is the biggest winner, because you realize how important he is for our defense. Jackson not playing. And most probably someone who's sitting in Mumbai, Apuya. I think not only we will talk about it, I think generally fans should be talking about this and ask this question to Igor Stimac and say, if you want to avoid, heavy losses in the Asian Cup, that's the boy who needs to come in. And that is something which needs to be talked about. And the goalkeeper question, I think we've got another one. The goalkeeper question crops up. Is Gurpreet really the number 1? Again, we saw today again the point that Stimac, like many national team coaches, will go for the trusted. Will go for the trusted players. That's why Nikhil Pujari played. I think Roshan should have started. It doesn't matter left or right. Roshan should have been on the pitch. Period. Right?
But sir, one thing is that कि अब आपका एक्सपेरिमेंट करने का टाइम खत्म हो गया. अब यू नाउ टू एग्जीक्यूट। अब सीधा मैच है आपका कुवैत के सामने। सो आपको जो करना है, अब डिसीजन बनाना है कि रोशन को स्टार्ट कराना है नहीं कराना है आपको। और मेरे को लगता है कि आप दोनों ऑफेंसिव फुल बैक के साथ, निखिल इज ऑफेंसिवली वेरी गुड, बट हमको पता है कि डिफेंसिवली उसका भी सेम हालत है जो आकाश मिश्रा का है। 1 वर्सेस 1 में वो दोनों में से कोई टिक नहीं पाता।
He's
दे
he's
डोंट।
not a right back, na. He's more of an attacking
हाँ,
winger. He's been turned
फिंगर,
into a
हाँ,
right back.
राइट बैक एग्जैक्टली। दैट्स व्हाई दैट्स इशू कम्स। सो मेरे को लगता है कि आई थिंक जो बेटर इंडिया के लिए, अगर हाई रैंक टीम के सामने आप खेल रहे हो, सो रादर देन गोइंग फॉर 2 ऑफेंसिव फुल बैक, आई थिंक 1 ऑफेंसिव फुल बैक एंड 1 यू कैन से कि डिफेंसिव फुल बैक, आई थिंक वुड बी मोर, यू कैन से कि बैलेंस आउट योर बैक लाइन एंड थोड़ी सी स्टेबिलिटी ज्यादा देगा कंपेरेटिव टू, रादर देन गोइंग फॉर 2 ऑफेंसिव फुल बैक। क्योंकि आपके पास ऑलरेडी आउट एंड आउट विंगर है। आपके दोनों विंगर ऐसे है कि जो मतलब क्या बोलते हैं कि इनसाइड फॉरवर्ड वाले नहीं है। सो आई थिंक वहां पे उतना ज्यादा इश्यू नहीं आएगा मेरे हिसाब से। सो वो एक डिसीजन आई थिंक
I
इगो स्टेमिक सबको बनाना पड़ेगा।
one thing also is that whoever is your lead defender,
हाँ।
Sandesh was today the lead defender,
हम्म,
and the man next to you depends on you, and the whole line
हम्म,
depends on you. We didn't see a
हम्म,
leadership in that back line. I think that is one, and I've seen that at 15, 16. Anwar used to do that when he was, preparing for the World Cup. He got that. He and Jitu were the guys who were organizing that team at the back. This was what was needed today, and this was clear. And if I hope Igor has seen it and understood it, that
हम्म,
I need, even if Anwar is not playing, who is my leader? And I would have thought a natural leader in that defensive line would be Sandesh, but either
संदेश।
Sandesh was not fit. My hunch is that Sandesh wasn't fully fit, and he was focusing on himself, so he couldn't lead the others. And if Sandesh is not focused, it seems to be it sort of transferred to Gurpreet as well. That was my
हम्म,
concern with those two today, because these guys they're so experienced. They have to be, besides Sunil, the leaders on the pitch, and this I felt uh, that's the most important thing. So therefore, yeah, a lot of
But that can
lessons.
be a big challenge, going forward, because clearly we are not really preparing ourselves from the leadership perspective also. Like, we do not have any
हाँ,
backup leaders in the team right now. We always keep talking
See,
about
my Armageddon would be, and God forbid if Sunil gets injured.
हाँ,
Worst case scenario for us.
हम्म,
That is my big
डेफिनेटली।
fear. Forget the attacking unit. It is just the whole team. You see when Sunil is there. It's and you saw Sunil was very clever today and smart today. I remember we had a conversation on the SAF Cup. He said he pushed everybody away from the referee and he took charge. Because you've seen, especially in Bangalore, 4 or 5 Indian players were crowding the ref. And
Yeah.
if you'd done it today, they would have gotten cards. Right? So therefore, that's the important. And let's see. I mean,
एक
but he
चीज
also
there's a
holds
lot of
that
अपनों
command,
से
right? Hiren and Rahul, he also holds that command that if he'll ask players that, side में रहो तो वो रहेंगे, right?
हाँ
But
रहेंगे
after
एग्जैक्टली।
Absolutely.
Sunil,
Absolutely.
who is that person जिनको लोग सुनेंगे भी? He has that
Sandesh, I
credibility, he
think.
has that kind of, yeah. But Sandesh is also in an age bracket where we also have to start considering the younger generation, right? Like,
Yeah,
prepare
absolutely.
them
Absolutely.
for leadership roles
Sandesh
in the team.
today was more bothered about his own game.
वो हाँ,
That was the
क्योंकि
problem.
आप उसका आईएसएल में भी उसका एफसी गोवा के लिए देखिए, जो 2 मैच उसने खेला है, इज नॉट यू कैन से कि 100%, और यू कैन से कि बेस्ट
See,
परफॉर्मेंस।
ISL mein advantage kya hai? He's playing with Uday, right?
ओडे,
He's playing with one of the best centre backs in that league. So again,
हाँ,
Mehtab Singh has not been exposed at Mumbai City. Why? Because you're playing with Royston Griffiths. You're playing with a
correct,
TD.
हाँ,
You will not be exposed. That is the thing, right? That is the difference between ISL and international football. You are missing those 4 foreigners, or even Champions League, AFC Cup, you're missing up to 6 foreigners. So, and that is the challenge that Igor has to work on. And I think, again, he has to take those lessons. I hope he learns his lessons from
one
what
thing,
happened today.
Hiren, I'm sorry
one,
interrupting. Guys, 350
हाँ,
people watching us. Please like the stream, subscribe to all the 4 channels.
अरे
We
मेरे
are
भाइयों
seeing
लाइक
all
कर
the
दो यार, लाइक कर दो यार,
comments.
लाइक कर दो मेरे भाइयों, क्या दिक्कत
And
है?
Share, subscribe
and
karo yaar.
subscribe भी करो. And also,
ये
guys, we
एक
looked at
एक
all
चीज
the
जो हमने,
comments. we can see all the comments. We are not able to put all of them on the screen because, as I already mentioned, 350 people are watching us, so it's not possible for us to bring all the comments. But we are reading them all. All four of us can see the comments, so just putting it out there. Yes, Sunil.
नहीं, वन थिंग आई वांट टू क्लेरिफाई, जो कमेंट में भी आ रहा है, कुछ लोग बोल रहे हैं कि जिक्सन एंड अनवर अली के आने के बाद सारी चीजें ठीक हो जाएगी। तो एक चीज आप गाइस नोटिस कर लो कि आप देखिए, कभी भी आपको फुल स्कोर आपकी अवेलेबल होना वो अब बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा। कोई ना कोई प्लेयर थोड़ा सा इंजरी के चलते आपको लाना पड़ेगा। तो मेन कंसर्निंग थिंग इज कि आपकी स्टार्टिंग 11 जो आप जिक्सन एंड अनवर अली के डालने के बाद भी आपके एक दो पोजीशन ऐसे है कि जहां पे अगर आप हायर रैंक टीम के सामने जाओगे तो एक्सपोज हो जाओगे। उसके अलावा जो आप ऐसा तो नहीं है कि आपकी जो स्टार्टिंग 11 है वही सारे मैच ऑस्ट्रेलिया, सीरिया, उज्बेकिस्तान, कतार या फिर कुवैत, पांचों टीमों के सामने वही खेलेगी पूरा 19 वीक। आपको बेंच से भी तो प्लेयर लाने पड़ेंगे, और हमको पता है कि ऐसा तो नहीं है कि आप 60 मिनट में मैच जीत जाओगे। देयर आर ऑल्सो अनदर 30 मिनट जहाँ पे आपके बेंच वाले प्लेयर आएंगे, आप एक्सपोज होंगे, आप गोल्स कंसीड करोगे। तो ये चीज हमें, ये आप देखिए आज हमने बेंच वाले प्लेयर यूज किए, मेहताब को यूज किया, he looks very very poor, रोहित looks poor। आप देखिए निखिल एंड आकाश का जो अभी भी हम अब ये नहीं बोल सकते कि वो शॉर्ट हमारे फुल बैक है ही है, क्योंकि उनके भी ऑफेंसिवली गुड बट डिफेंसिवली दे आर आल्सो वेरी पुअर। सो ऐसे पोजीशन है कि जहां पे आपके बेंच स्ट्रेंथ वाले आपने प्लेयर यूज किए और आपको पता चला कि दे आर नॉट रेडी, दे आर नॉट दैट क्वालिटी, सिंपल एज दैट। सो आपको ये हमारे लिए ज्यादा कंसर्निंग चीज है रादर देन स्टार्टिंग 11।
And again, the question will also be raised about those players who've not been called and experienced players, right?
Exactly.
And that is a question, again, we will...
Sana Singh, sir. Sana Singh. One of the, I think, one player जो जिसके बारे में अभी तक हमने बात नहीं की, Sana Singh should be called up for this cup.
100%. And the question is, do we have to consider and bring back, let's say, an experienced hand like Pritam Kotal? प्रीतम के बारे में डिस्कस करना पड़ेगा। I know people will say Ashish Rai, but this defense needs experience. This defense needs players who can lead. And Pritam, has not been as good as he might have been 2-3 years ago, but he has leadership qualities, and I think that is what was needed. Today's defense lacked that clear leadership. And again, Lalchon Nunga has been mentioned multiple times. Lalchon Nunga is not the solution of this problem. He lacks that experience, and he's been exposed, and Lalchon Nunga depends on the foreigner who plays next to him. Therefore, give him time. But again, Anwar Ali is crucial to that defense.
बट सर अनवर अली इज क्रूशियल, वो समझ में आता है, लेकिन आप ये भी तो देखो कि उसको भी तो एएफसी कप आईएसएल के मैचेस खेलना है। वो भी न्यूज़ आ रही 15 दिन के लिए वो बाहर है, हैमस्ट्रिंग है उसको, एएफसी कप का मैच वसुंधरा के। तो मेरा टेंशन ये है कि क्या कुवैत के सामने एक आध प्लेयर हमारा मिस हो गया और हम हार गए तो उस टाइम पे बोल देंगे कि हम ये प्लेयर होता तो हम जीत जाते, फिर कतार के सामने सेम चीज रिपीट करेंगे, फिर एशियन कप में भी सेम चीज हम रिपीट करेंगे। तो ऐसे तो कोई आप टूर्नामेंट कभी जीत ही नहीं पाओगे, क्योंकि आई डोंट थिंक सो कि आपके 11 के 11 प्लेयर कभी भी अवेलेबल हो। अर्जेंटीना देख लीजिए ना, वर्ल्ड कप में गए, उनके जो वो कब से 4 साल की जो टीम लेके आ रहे थे, लोसेल्सो रोसे, तो उस टाइम पे इंजर हो गए। सभी टीम के साथ हुआ था, मैं जस्ट एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ, काफी टीमों के साथ ये हुआ था वर्ल्ड कप के टाइम पे कि उनके जो कोच क्रूशियल प्लेयर थे उस टाइम पे इंजरी के चलते बाहर हो गए थे वर्ल्ड कप से। तो ये तो आपका सॉल्यूशन, ये तो आप एक एक्सक्यूज दे रहे हो कि भाई हमारा ये प्लेयर नहीं था इसलिए हम ये मैच नहीं जीत पाए। तो वैसे तो आप कभी कोई मैच नहीं जीत पाओगे, फिर हारोगे उस मैच में वो बोल दोगे, जीतोगे उसमें बोल दोगे कि ये टैलेंट अच्छा आ रहा है, इसने बढ़िया कर दिया। मेन कंसर्निंग चीज ये है कि अनवर अली अगर नहीं है तो उसकी जगह पे उसका शूज पुल अप करने के लिए कौन रेडी? आपने रेडी किया है क्या? नहीं है हमारे पास, ये हमें एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए, उसके ऊपर काम करना
चाहिए।
And Hiren, that's why I said Intercontinental Cup should have been that trial tournament for you to try out players, and that was not done. No?
Guys, a lot of people have spoken about Apoya. We have also spoken about Apoya, but if he's called at this stage, right, after all of the things that the fans are talking about and considering what all was published in the newspapers recently, there will also be a lot of pressure on Apoya now to prove himself, right? So how are we going to manage that going forward, Rahul?
He's just done it last Sunday with that goal, with the way he played against the Blasters. Right?
Yes, but the environment here will be different, right? I don't know.
No. See, the point is that this boy has been part of the youth setups. He was part of the under-17 World Cup squad. These boys, why is Anwar Ali so good? Because he's taken that he's got now 7 years, 8 years of experience, of international experience in him. You can't buy that experience. Even a Suresh, with all the problems that he had, but Suresh he was trying to be composed today, right? Why? Because he's been part of that team. Those boys have a different level of
वो
exposure. Nikolai Adam took them on the road
2017
for 2 years.
2017 वाली जो बैच है वो उसका कंपैरिजन ही नहीं है भाई. वो हमारी अब तक की सबसे बेस्ट है.
You have to give your I mean, you have to get the best chance of winning, and you'll only do that if you pressure and all. Yeah, of course I understand, but you've got to give yourself the best chance of winning, and we only do that if Apuya is there in the squad. I think it's a no-brainer. He's got to play.
I think that our three midfielders should be in World Cup qualifiers and in the Asian Cup should be Suresh, Apuya and Jigson. Period. Without a doubt. थापा सहल तो है आपका जो आगे का है. नंबर 6 के लिए जो आप देख रहे हो, दिस शुड बी 3 और डिफेंसिव मिडफील्डर. अभी कोई ट्रायल एरर करने का कोई मौका नहीं है क्योंकि आपके पास बाकी अमरजीत सिंह किया में वो भी प्रॉमिसिंग दिखे है, लेकिन आई डोंट थिंक सो कि अभी उसको अब लाने का, क्योंकि आपके इनफॉर्म प्लेयर देखो ना, आपके ये तीनों प्लेयर अच्छा है, इन तीनों को ही लेके जाओ रादर देन ट्राइंग एंड टेस्टिंग आउट. बाकी सारे आपके पास जो मिडफील्डर है जो आईएसएल में खेल रहे हैं, दे आर मोर ऑफ यू कैन से नंबर 8. तो आपको आउट एंड आउट नंबर 6 चाहिए. उसमें अभी करंटली 3 बेस्ट आर सुरेश, Apuya, Jigson.
I would even start Jigson and Apuya alongside each other. I would play Apuya, Jigson together and play Sahal in the 10. No problem.
We have options. That's a nice thing, no? With the attacking. Sorry, Akshat, I'm just one second. Rahul, you have a point, right? Sahal at the moment is number 1, but we've got 3 months to go, and they are challengers, right? There's Brandon. There's Anirudh Thapa. We have options over there. Even on the wings, we have options. That is not my concern. My concern is the defensive unit. Our defensive unit, which looked good in the summer, and this is also today was a huge reality check for us. That we are not, and you saw that also against Iraq, they were having problems. Even Anwar and Sandesh were having problems against Iraq. So that is something which the coach needs to realize is my defenders are somewhat frail. Who's the right one? Do I stick with the players that I'm going with? Do I bring in fresh blood or do I go for experience? I think coaches will rather go for experience, and I would second that, to be honest, even though players might not be in the best of form for clubs. And this was today again a proof that Changte, again, I go back to that example, he worked himself into this game. The goal was his pass and that touch from Sahal and then Mahesh with the bang.
Yeah.
That's it. And this is something which you can. So therefore, international match experience, you will not get it in the ISL. And that is something which we need to accept, that we might say this player, that player, this player, that player. Again, so therefore, we need to find the right mix. I think that's the point. Up front, the masala is right. The ingredients are right. The options are there. You saw Liston has been mentioned a few times. Yeah, Liston did Liston 3 months ago, Liston now. Liston seems to be getting back into his groove. You've got Nanda Kumar as well. So we have options over there. But defensive midfield and the defense will decide if we can hold matches, win matches, or will suffer heavy defeats. I'm not even talking about defeats, but heavy defeats. Because today we conceded 4 goals against Malaysia. And we could have conceded 10. Let's be honest. Let's not fool and kid ourselves. You're saying 5-4 and all, 5-3 we could have won, guys. Don't forget, Malaysia had many, many more chances.
नहीं वो सर उसमें फैन का वो बायस नहीं आता कि हम जो चांस मिस करते हैं वही हम काउंट करते हैं. उन्होंने मिस किए वही काउंट करते हैं.
But credit to the Indian football fans today. While watching the match, I thought that the controversial things will take over the quality of the match or the quality of the performance of our players. But looking at the comments here, the good thing is that people are able to see कि क्या अच्छा point from Indian football perspective हुआ है और क्या नहीं हुआ है. So credit to the fans. I think
I 100% agree with you, Akshata, on this, because मैं जब वॉच अलोंग कर रहा था सेकंड हाफ में, तब भी लोग वैलिड क्वेश्चन उठा रहे थे. नो डाउट रेफरी की बात हो रही थी, पिच की बात हो रही थी, लेकिन डिफेंस के बारे में, हमारी जो गलतियां थी आज, उसके बारे में भी क्वेश्चन उठ रहे थे. तो that's the good part from the fans perspective की फैन एजुकेशन बढ़ रहा है. This is what we needed. That's the most important thing. मेरे हिसाब से अगर इंडियन फुटबॉल को आगे बढ़ना है कि फैंस को सही टाइम पे सही क्वेश्चन उठाने पड़ेंगे. सिर्फ हर बार एक्सक्यूज लेके या फिर किसी भी चीज को क्या बोलते कि अंडर द कारपेट जाने देना कि भाई एक्सक्यूज के चलते हम नहीं कर पाए, उससे रादर बेटर है कि हमने क्या गलत किया है, जो हमारे हाथ में चीजें थी वो हमने क्या सही तरीके से कर पाए, उसमें कहाँ हमें इम्प्रूवमेंट की जरूरत है। अगर वो सारी चीजें हम कर पाएंगे देन ऑटोमेटिकली रिजल्ट भी आना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा। सो दैट्स अ कमेंडेबल जॉब फ्रॉम द फैंस पर्सपेक्टिव डेफिनेटली।
गाइस, अगर आज हम मैच जीते तो हमारा मैच अगला 17th को होता तजाकिस्तान के साथ, बट हम मैच नहीं जीते। दैट मीन्स वील बी कमिंग बैक होम अ लिटिल अर्लियर आल्सो। Will this time be utilized with by the coach to like work with the team, or how are things generally handled in such scenarios?
Well, usually they just go back to their clubs, right? Because that's what I've seen at least in European football. You just go back to your clubs because
Yeah.
the clubs are still training. It's not like the clubs are not training.
हाँ,
So
Like considering the time
उसमें
is always wanted by the coach, so there's no. Sorry.
नहीं अभी अभी तो मतलब अभी आप एक दो दिन में कैंप करके भी क्या करोगे, क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द प्लेयर आर हैव स्मॉल निकल्स, सो रादर देन यू कैन से डूइंग द कैंप, आई थिंक वही बेटर है कि आप क्लब के लिए रिलीज कर दीजिए उसको। एंड आई थिंक एक चीज
one thing I have to say is what I felt when you hear that 4, 5, 6 players are carrying a niggle in a limited squad. How is your tracking happening on how fit your players are? Then that question needs to be raised with the Indian national team, where there have been questions
Yes.
raised about the whole Ashik thing, that they didn't treat Ashik properly, and Ashik suddenly had an ACL. Mahesh went last time around back to East Bengal with an injury, which seemed nothing, and then suddenly he was out for a few days. So therefore, I think that we need to look at that. Again, 6 players carrying niggles, 3 of them on the field. It would have been better at least. I don't know how fit certain players were, but it looked, and it's quite interesting that Anwar yesterday was sitting in a press conference, and today he's not even in the squad.
वो तो चांगते के साथ भी किया था पहले, चांगते इससे पहले एक में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आए थे, नेक्स्ट मैच में वो स्टार्ट नहीं कर रहे।
It's not about starting, but this starting when I don't have a problem. I have a problem is that when you get a player to a press conference who potentially might not play because of an injury, who didn't properly train, that doesn't make, and that's what I'm saying, that you could have given other players a chance. And what I was, and Igor has been talking about, he's been talking a lot, our style of play, there's that, everything. Guys, let's be honest. There were phases today where we were badly exposed. And this is something which the other coaches, be it Kuwait, be it Qatar, the Australian, the Uzbeks, the Syrians, all of them will be seeing this, right? And that's a concern. Today is a concern. Even though again attacking unit great, but if we concede 4 and then we have to score 5 to win a game, that's going to be tough.
उसमें दिक्कत क्या आ रही है पता है मुन्ना सर, कि एक सेकंड, जस्ट एक सेकंड, इसमें दिक्कत ये आ रही है कि हम लोग हर कोई मैच में इंडिया का जब मैच होता है तो या तो एक्सटर्नल या तो ऑन दी फील्ड इतना ज्यादा दूसरा क्या बोलते कि सीन हो जाता है कि जो टेक्टिकल डिस्कशन है जिसमें कोच का भी रोल आता है कि क्या उसने सही किया, क्या सब्स्टिट्यूशन सही मोमेंट पे किए, क्या वो बेटर कर सकता था टेक्टिकली, क्या उसने ब्लंडर किए, वो डिस्कशन अभी तक हुआ ही नहीं है टू बी ऑनेस्ट। And that's why ये चीजें क्या बोलते हैं नेगलेक्ट होती जाती है।
I actually want to bring that up because one tactical observation that I made in the first half, in the first 15 minutes, every time Gurpreet got the ball, he was aiming for the same ball out wide to Akash. The first time it happened, it worked when Akash went on the run and then he crossed the ball and we hit the bar. He did the same thing 4 times, 5 times. Malaysia have learned. So the fullback has stepped up. Sorry, the wingers have stepped up. He's intercepting the headers. We're going back to the same plan. We didn't have a plan B.
And he did that also with Nikhil Pujari.
Exactly.
Nikhil Pujari.
And if you see the second goal for us, where Sandesh plays it wide and Akash heads it forward and then Mahesh takes the ball, Akash just about gets to the ball before the Malaysian attacker. It could have been actually a counter attack against us.
Yeah.
So, and that is something which with better teams, they will intercept the ball, right?
Yeah.
So this is something we're talking about gameplay, this and that, everything. To some extent, we'll have to be honest to ourselves. Our team can't play that. Whatever Igor Steeman says. Sorry. We are not in a position of playing combined football, creating triangles, this and that. We have players in this team where you say, get the ball out of danger. If you're trying to, if you can get it to your front four, they will try and create something. But again, playing against solid Australian and Uzbek players in defense and in defensive midfield will be different. And Navbahar was a very, very good test for the Mumbai City boys who will be playing in the Asian Cup. Chante was struggling. Mehta was struggling. Apuya was trying to hold the lines, right? And even with the foreigners. So this is something, I hope so. That people are aware of this, that Igor, if not Igor, that at least Mahesh Gawli sees this, because Mahesh was one of the best centre backs that India's ever had. And that's why we need to be ready. And Kuwait at home will be different than Kuwait and Bangalore. I think we should not forget that. And Kuwait still feels they were done hard by not winning the SAF Cup. So, we are feeling bad about Malaysia. Kuwait is still feeling bad about losing the SAF Cup in Bangalore. So therefore, that match will not be easy. And that match is so crucial for our World Cup campaign. Because our fight for that second spot is against Kuwait mainly. Maybe even Afghanistan. I don't know if they won 1-0 against Mongolia. So therefore, that first match is going to be very, very crucial next month on the 16th of November.
A little over a month left to that match. अगर हमें 3-4 चीजें in an ideal situation अगर हम कर सकते हैं, तो क्या है वो 3-4 चीजें आप तीनों के ओपिनियन में जो हमें करनी चाहिए to prepare better for the November 16th match?
राहुल पहले बताएं.
Rahul.
3-4 things.
Let's restrict it to 3.
ये जो स्टार्टिंग 11 थी एंड ये जो स्क्वाड थी हमारी, उसमें से कौन से प्लेयर को तुम इन आउट करना चाहोगे फॉर द कुवैत गेम?
I've said this before. I think for me the main thing is, if Igor wants to play like this, and if he's going to be stubborn about playing like this, then you have to play Amrinder. For me, keeper, it starts with the keeper. Sometimes Gurpreet, I've said this before, today is the first time I've seen Gurpreet come out of the box and kick a ball out. I've never seen that. Because he doesn't do it for BFC. He's always waiting, and then he comes a few seconds late. So Amrinder for me is the first change. He's got to get into the team. Now I'll leave it to you guys, because that's mine. Amrinder is the one.
Just one change, Rahul?
No, not just one change, but this is the one change that I want. This is the first change that I want. But yeah.
But if you had the option to make a couple of more changes,
for me it's pretty standard. Anwar Ali comes in, that's a no-brainer. Of course, Anwar Ali. So the centre back pairing would be Anwar and Sandesh. That doesn't change. On the left, I'd still go with Akash. On the right, maybe Roshan. But I was impressed with Nikhil today. But anyways, Roshan on the right. In central midfield is, again, I think everybody will agree. For me, it's Jeekson and Apuya, and then Sahal, number 10. Left side, Mahesh. Right side, Changte. Down the middle, Sunil. That's my level. That's, I think, India's strongest level.
मैं जो चेंजेस देखना चाहूंगा, एक तो रोहित कुमार आउट फ्रॉम द स्क्वाड, दूसरा मैं देखना चाहूंगा एक डेफिनेटली जिक्सन अपुया इन द स्क्वाड विदाउट अ डाउट, इसमें कोई डिस्कशन नहीं होता. फ्रंट लाइन में आई थिंक उससे पहले बैक लाइन में आई एग्री काइंड ऑफ विद राहुल कि अगर आपसे बैक से भी बिल्डअप करना है देन यू नीड अमरिंदर. बट आई थिंक हायर रैंक टीम के सामने जब आप खेलोगे तो आई डोंट थिंक सो कि आपका जो बैक से बिल्डअप करने का प्लान है इतना ज्यादा वो आप क्या करते कि एग्जीक्यूट कर पाओगे. यू रादर यू कैन से कि रिलाई ऑन दी काउंटर और यू कैन से लॉन्गर बॉल्स, तभी आप मैच में कुछ कर पाओगे, अदरवाइज आपको चांस ही नहीं मिलेगा. सामने टीम
और यू नीड गुरप्रीत ऑन द लाइन. गुरप्रीत इज अ वेरी गुड शॉट स्टॉपर.
हाँ, तो उसके सामने गुरप्रीत चाहिए होगा. कुवैत की बात करें तो डेफिनेटली आप ट्राई आउट कर सकते हो. बाकी आई थिंक फुल बैक्स में मैं थोड़ा सा चेंज देखना चाहूंगा. आई थिंक मैं ये चेंज देखना, कोई भी एक फ्लैंक का फुल बैक में चाहूंगा कि एक डिफेंसिव फुल बैक हो. आई डोंट गो विथ टू आउट एंड आउट फुल बैक्स, ऑफेंसिव फुल बैक्स, क्योंकि उससे हम ज्यादा एक्सपोज हो रहे हैं. टू बी ऑनेस्ट, एक पास निकलता है और हमारी मतलब उससे ज्यादा दिक्कत मेरे को क्या आ रही है कि उससे जो आपके सेंटर बैक है उसके ऊपर भी ज्यादा प्रेशर आ रहा है. मेरे को ये लगता है टू बी ऑनेस्ट कि आपके जब दोनों ऑफेंसिव फुल बैक्स है तब उनके ऊपर ज्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि जो सामने वाली टीम का विंगर्स है या फिर अटैकिंग मिडफील्डर है, अगर जैसे वो मिडफील्ड में बॉल विन करते हैं तो उनके ऊपर ज्यादा प्रेशर आ जाता है टू स्टॉप देम। सो आई थिंक आकाश या निखिल में से किसी एक को मैं बेंच करूंगा और एक डिफेंसिव फुलबैक आप इस टाइप पे सुभाषिस बोस को ला सकते हो, व्हिच हु इज डूइंग रियली वेल फॉर मोहन बगान आल्सो। ऐसा नहीं है, अगर आप देखिए मोहन बगान के लिए आशीष राय से पहले वो स्टार्ट करते हैं, तो दैट शोज कि भाई बंदा लीडरशिप क्वालिटी की भी, जो हम बैकलाइन में एक्सपीरियंस की बात कर रहे थे, जैसे सर ने बोला प्रीतम कोटा, उससे पहले आपके पास ऑलरेडी आपके पास स्क्वाड में ऑप्शन अवेलेबल ही था सुभाषिस बोस। सुभाषिस बोस इज ए एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर, काफी लंबे टाइम से टीम के साथ है, तो वो एक देखना चाहूंगा। रोशन आई थिंक मैं देखना चाहूंगा, रोशन इज अ मोर बैलेंस फुलबैक कंपेयर टू निखिल आकाश, की ऑफेंसिवली भी अच्छा है, डिफेंसिवली भी इन दोनों से मेरे को बेटर लगता है। सो वो एक चेंज देखना चाहूंगा। फ्रंट लाइन में आई थिंक नोरेम महेश, चांगते, सुनील सर इज राइट, सहल इज ऑल्सो राइट। आई थिंक तो जो ऑप्शन भी है आपके पास, लिस्टन इज करेंटली इज डूइंग गुड फॉर्म, नंदा कुमार सितार इज ऑल्सो गुड। उदांता की जगह पे आई थिंक आई वांट टू, आई थिंक ईगो स्ट्रेंथ सब करेंगे नहीं, क्योंकि जैसे सर ने बोला कि एक्सपीरियंस के साथ ही वो, और एक चेंज नहीं करना चाहिए, दैट्स व्हाई उदांता विल कंटिन्यू, बट अदरवाइज आई विल आइदर गो विथ विक्रम और पार्थिव।
But they need to get into the squad, no? So that's the point. I think starting 11 and squad are two things. I think
मैं वही बोल, मैं ओवरऑल स्कोर का बोल रहा था, वो ओवरऑल स्कोर का बोल रहा था।
So I think attacking four, I think there is no doubt about it. After today, those four start. If they are fit, they will start against Kuwait. I think there's no doubt about it. The way they played the front four. The back line, again, I have a feeling that looking at potentially the way that Kuwait will come at you, he might start with Gurpreet. Anwar needs to come back. There's no doubt about it. Anwar is, I think, the most important aspect of that defense. And then we come to the right and left back. As Rahul has said, I thought Nikhil Pujari overall wasn't as bad as we've seen him already in an India shirt. Akash is a concern. And that's the point. And he's not, and this is, we come back to the word of consistency. And let Akash get his game back together. The question is, do you start actually with Nikhil and with Roshan potentially? Roshan on the left? Because I liked Roshan on the left today. Subhashish Bose has to pick first, in the way that, is he going to be willing to pick him for his first 11? And defensive midfield, as Rahul has said, Jackson and Apuya. There's no option about it. I think that's the best option in that holding position. And if I look at alternatives again, Thapa, Anuruddh Thapa, let's see. So therefore, it's those, you have options, and then you have to see whatever works or what doesn't work. But again, that defensive unit is going to be key for to start off with November, and then going forward into the Asian Cup. That defensive unit needs to be even much more stronger against Australia and Uzbekistan.
Guys, 254 people still watching us. Please like this stream, subscribe to all the 4 channels. Before we wrap up tonight's stream, if there's any...
Wrap up करना है क्या? Discussion तो अच्छा कर.
अच्छा करते हैं, continue.
We just started, no? We wanted to do in honor of Cheyenne, we wanted to do a long show today, no? Even though Cheyenne is not here.
I thought we'll stick to our 1 hour daily wala thing. But anyways, yes, please, we can continue.
I think एक तो मैं एक मिस कर गया पॉइंट. I think ओवरऑल स्कोर में मैं देखना चाहूंगा कि what are your center back option. I think does Mehta continue or Sanasan come back. So वो एक देखना इंटरेस्टिंग सा रहेगा 23 नंबर, क्योंकि फर्स्ट चॉइस सेंटर बैक तो आपके अनोरली एंड संदेश जुंगा रहने वाले हैं, लेकिन व्हाट विल बी योर बैकअप्स? लेलेन चुंगा, मेहता, साना, ये 3 आई थिंक अभी दिख रहे हैं, इसमें से कौन से 2 सिलेक्ट होते हैं, एंड उसके अलावा या फिर कोई और प्लेयर आता है, प्रीतम कोटाल जैसे सर ने बोला. सो अगर आप एक्सपीरियंस के साथ जाना चाहोगे तो उसको आपको कंसिडरेशन में लेना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि यही सारे सेंटर बैक जो अभी आपके आईएसएल में भी खेल रहे हैं, अगर इंडियन सेंटर बैक की बात करें, क्योंकि आईएसएल में एक चीज इस बार ये भी दिखी है कि मोस्ट ऑफ द क्लब्स, 2-3 क्लब ऐसे कि जो दोनों फॉरेन सेंटर बैक के साथ भी खेलेंगे कुछ मैचेस. सो ये वाली भी चीज है. सो आई थिंक अगर आपको चेंज, आई थिंक ईगो स्टेमिक मेरे को लगता है कि कोई एकदम से आउट एंड आउट एक नया प्लेयर की जिसको सीधा ही, मतलब आई डोंट थिंक सो कि वो चाहेगा कि वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर से फिर एशियन कप में डाले। वो आई थिंक ट्राई एंड टेस्टेड प्लेयर जो उन्होंने पहले ट्राई कर रखा है, एंड उस टाइम पे अच्छे फॉर्म में था, फिर आउट ऑफ फॉर्म चला गया और टीम से बाहर हो गया, फिर अभी अच्छा कर रहा है, तो आई थिंक उसको ज्यादा प्रीफरेंस देगा मेरे को लगता है कि टीम में आने के लिए, रादर देन गोइंग न्यू प्लेयर। सो बैकलाइन में तो आई थिंक उसी तरह से जाना चाहिए, रादर देन गोइंग एज ए नया प्लेयर लाने से अच्छा है कि आप एज एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर है जो पहले अच्छा कर रहे थे टीम के लिए, एंड अभी अच्छा कर रहे हैं अगर आईएसएल में, तो आई थिंक उसको लाना चाहिए। सो वो चेंज मैं बैकलाइन में देखना चाहूंगा। एक चीज हमने डिस्कस नहीं की अभी भी, मिस कर दी है, वो है फीफा रैंकिंग। हम 102 पे थे, आफ्टर दिस लॉस आई थिंक वी विल बी डाउन मोर बिकॉज मलेशिया से हारे, सो आई थिंक 5-6 पॉइंट आप लूज करेंगे, 6 पॉइंट मिनिमम। So
The question is, what are the others around us doing? Well, that's also a point. Do they have a lot of points from 4 years ago? So therefore, yeah. So again, yes, and therefore I say this whole getting into pot 2 story that was cooked up. In the end, you got Kuwait, and you know how strong Kuwait is. Kuwait is a team which could have been in pot 2, and that's the point that. That these teams about 15 to 30 in Asia, they're all on somewhat of a similar level, and the question is, are they playing at home or are they playing away?
सर वो एक कहावत नहीं है कि सफलता का कोई शॉर्टकट नहीं होता। तो हमने क्या किया कि हम कैसे भी करके उस टाइम पे लोअर रैंक टीमों के सामने खेल के पोर्ट 2 में तो चले आए, लेकिन जो ऊपर वाला है वो भी देखता है। उन्होंने बोला ले कुवैत तुम तीसरी, तो हम इवेंचुअली हमारे लिए तो वो पोर्ट 3 वाला ही सीन हो गया, क्योंकि कुवैत हमको पता है कि पोर्ट 2 वाली टीम ही है। तो ऊपर वाले ने वो बैलेंस कर दिया। हमने ट्राई किया स्मार्ट खेलने के लिए, और पोर्ट 2 के लिए हमने उस टाइम पे मंगोलिया और उन सब के सामने खेल के कैसे भी करके साफ में भी मैच करके हमने पोर्ट 2 बना लिया था, लेकिन इवेंचुअली जो कहता है कर्मा हिट हार्ड, सो वही हुआ हमारे साथ।
A lot of requests for Furious Harry's rank video. I'm sure it will be out in a day or two on Hiren's YouTube
why don't we give him? Why don't we give him now 2 minutes of time and we'll do clock 120 seconds?
Continue, right?
ऐसे नहीं होगा, ऐसे नहीं, वो नेचुरली आता है।
And the problem is the instigator in chief, so to say, is today not there, na? So that's why that's greeting Shine. So therefore Hiren is very sober, and yeah, I mean it's
I am planning for renting something else, जो आई थिंक मैं प्लान कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि डालूं कि नहीं डालूं वो वाली चीजें। जो दूसरा पॉइंट है इंडियन फुटबॉल के लिए, रादर देन
टीजर।
देखता हूँ मैंने आज प्लान किया था, लेकिन आज मैंने सोचा अभी नहीं डालूंगा, छोड़ो। तो अब क्योंकि अब फ्री हो चुके हैं, क्योंकि एक ही मैच खेला है, अब कुछ है नहीं 7-8 दिन करने के लिए, आईएसएल भी नहीं है, तो सोच रहा हूँ कि बीच में
so do we want Akshata to rant?
I'm trying to be more positive in life.
नहीं तो ट्विटर पे कौन बोल रहा था?
reality
हो गया मेरा उतना rant, हो गया
उसके बाद तो नहीं सर, ट्विटर पे कोई बोल रहा था पिच क्रॉस, स्पोर्ट्समैनशिप क्रॉस, दूसरा क्या क्रॉस लिखा है, रेफरी क्रॉस। तो उसके बारे में कुछ बताइए, वो क्या आपका एग्जैक्टली क्या आपका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है?
नहीं मतलब आई थिंक मेरा उतना ही होता है, उस टाइम पे देखते देखते I'll react, उसके बाद I'll feel कि oh my god I'm spreading negativity in this world, तो फिर come back to the normal positive mindset, which I think
मैं आप तीनों से जानना चाहता हूँ, हमें फैन से भी जानना चाहता हूँ, और आप तीनों से भी, कि मैच जब देख रहे थे आपको, तो तब जो एक फीलिंग आती है जिस तरह से मैच चल रहा था, तब लगता है कि साला अब सब कुछ खत्म, मतलब तब ये लगता है कि वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स गया, एशियन कप गया, लेकिन एक आधे घंटे के बाद, 1 घंटे के बाद, 1 दिन के बाद, 2 दिन के बाद अब फिर से वो नहीं आ जाता है कॉन्फिडेंस कि हाँ भाई अभी भी हम कर सकते हैं वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स से एशियन कप में। आप सबके साथ भी ऐसा होता है क्या?
Sport is stupid. It is the most stupid feeling.
There's no logic.
Emotion. There is no logic. It's like, I know I'm going to lose. My team is going to get smashed. We're not playing well. This can be any team. I'm not saying India or supported Arsenal for 8 years. We didn't win anything. But every weekend you sit, you're like, okay, today something's going to happen. We're going to win 3-0. Then you'll get smashed. You'll be like, oh shit, everything's done. But then next 2 days after that, oh yeah, we're going to come back. This sport has no logic. It just this. What do you do?
I think Akshat and I just read the same comment.
Yeah.
I
मैं
think
तो
what
कॉमेडी
is the charm of a football game is I always say a match starts 0-0. I remember on Shine's channel we were talking in Bengali before the first derby in the Duran Cup. Mohun Bagan fans were already done. East Bengal fans had given up. I said, guys, it's a 50-50.
हाँ
Match starts. Let's see what happens. So anything can happen in a football game. Uh, the point here is that
but ये
that we today also got a reality check of where we stand. Again, we
But
have been
Arnav,
lying to us over the last 6 months.
don't you think that because of all these conversations that we have, at least I had that reality check. I was not expecting that हम जीत जाएंगे बहुत ही amazing margin से. Things of course turned out to be very different because of other issues. Of course, that's there. But a lot of people who are following Indian football know where we stand. So we are aware of it. We can follow, we will of course watch all the matches. We would want to support our team and we would want to, like, as you say, show our unconditional support. But we deep down know ना कि कहाँ पे हम चांस रखते हैं कहाँ नहीं रखते होम गेम्स में तभी भी हमें पता होता है कि कोई टीम आ रही है बाहर मतलब बेटर रैंक भी है तभी भी वी कैन विन राइट बाहर जाएंगे तो बेटर रैंक नहीं भी है तभी भी ऐसे लगने लगता है कि व्हाट इफ वी लूज things and
but
this is
ये
me when I've not followed Indian football all my life. I've like started following Indian football a year back. And if I can feel that, then I don't know. I mean, I think
So now you are now think about me who's been sort of closely tracking and following Indian football for now over 25 years. I mean, I always say that match against Australia in 2011, where the Indian anthem was played at the AFC Asian Cup in Qatar in the Al Saad Stadium, was one of those moments which I will never forget and I will always cherish. Or of course our win against Thailand, that 4-1 in 2019. I mean,
19
it was insane what we played in that second half. But I also live in reality where I say that I know where we stand. And again, I had this conversation. I've said this also. Maybe I'm too honest in this, where I say what I feel, that where we stand. I would love India tomorrow to play the World Cup. But I know we're not there. And again, people who are trying to sell those dreams, pipe dreams, are just, again, if we do, brilliant. If we somehow sneak in, brilliant. But these matches like today show you where you stand. And again, take the whole referee thing out. Take the referee out. Take the pitch out. Football is a problem. The way we play football is a problem. And that needs to be addressed. And that point, Igor is right. The coaches at the clubs need to work it, but not the coaches at the ISL clubs at the senior level. It starts with grassroots, right? PIO OCI has been mentioned so many times today. Listen, I've been trying to get this over the line for the last 22 years. And it doesn't matter who has been at the government, who is running the government. Nobody wants to take this issue up.
But
Period.
again, Arnav, I mean, this is something that we know that cannot happen for various reasons. So isn't it in a way better for us to make peace with it now?
No, I won't do it. I will not do it because it's a fight that we've had. And the conversations have happened.
peace,
Doesn't matter if it's with
नहीं,
Mr. Das
Akshata.
Tulsi, with Mr. Praful Patel, with Kalyan. All these conversations have happened. I've even gone to various sports ministers
नहीं.
over the years.
Because सिर्फ स्पोर्ट्स पर्सपेक्टिव से सिर्फ इंडियन फुटबॉल को चाहिए कि ये एस्पेक्ट क्लियर हो जाए, राइट? अगर आप बाकी स्पोर्ट्स को देखो, उनको नहीं चाहिए. दे आर वेरी हैप्पी विद देयर ओन टीम्स. Gone are the days when even tennis people were like, हाँ, sorry.
एक चीज मैं बताता हूँ. आपकी बात सही है. There are multiple factors जो अफेक्ट होते हैं, नो डाउट अबाउट इट. बट यही चीज अगर आप देखिए, अभी पाकिस्तान ने स्टार्ट कर दिया है, श्रीलंका ने स्टार्ट कर दिया है, बांग्लादेश कर रहा है. नहीं, एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू बताता हूँ, फिर आप अपना ओपिनियन बताना. बांग्लादेश ने कर दिया, नेपाल इज गोइंग टू स्टार्ट, न्यूज आ रही है, दे आर आल्सो लुकिंग ऑन इन दैट डायरेक्शन. आप देखिए, जब ये कंट्री करने लगे एंड ये जब ग्रो करेंगे, रिजल्ट आएगा उनको. आप देखिए, पाकिस्तान नहीं तो कंबोडिया के सामने नील ड्रॉ नहीं खेल सकता. अगर ओसीआई प्लेयर नहीं होते, देयर इज नो चांस कि वो यहाँ पे 0-0 ड्रॉ खेलता. वो मैच हार ही गए थे, आप मान के चलिए, क्योंकि 6 प्लेयर आपके ओसीआई प्लेयर थे. तो आप देखिए, जब ये अच्छा करने लगेंगे, ऑटोमेटिकली हमारे यहाँ पे प्रेशर आएगा कि भाई बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान ये अच्छा करे. तब आपको जो भी दिक्कत है, तब कोई दिक्कत नहीं आएगी. तब आप रेडी हो जाओगे कि नहीं तो अब हमें करना पड़ेगा, ओसीआई प्लेयर को लाना
we don't know
ये
तब
करना
भी
पड़ेगा।
होगा या नहीं ना, because things are being done for
होगा
various
ही होगा
other
ही।
reasons,
इट्स
right?
अबाउट द विल, इट्स देयर इज ए नो, आप ऐसी कोई भी चीज नहीं है कि जो नहीं हो सकती, ये तो विल की बात है, आपको करना है कि नहीं करना है,
That I
रास्ते
agree,
ऑटोमेटिक निकल जाते हैं।
but अगर हम कब तक
और
अपने
एक
आप
चीज
को
एक चीज, आप जब दुनिया के साथ नहीं चलते ना तो आप पीछे रह जाते हो, सिंपल सी बात है। पूरी दुनिया अगर ये कर रही है तो आपको भी, आप इंडिया कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि स्पेशल कंट्री है कि जिसके पास ये लग्जरी है, कि आपको फायदा उठाना चाहिए। हम बोलते रहते मलेशिया ने 7 प्लेयर स्टार्टिंग 11 में ओसीआई वाले डाले, ये डाले, तो भाई उन्होंने अलाउ किया इसलिए किया है, आप भी करो, आपको कौन रोक रहा है? आपको वो नहीं करना। और अब काफी सारे लोग बोलते हैं कि भाई ओसीआई प्लेयर आ जाने से आप ग्रास रूट पे नहीं ध्यान दे पाओगे, तो अभी कहाँ दे रहे हो? अभी क्या आपने उखाड़ लिया बिना ओसीआई प्लेयर के? कुछ तो नहीं कर लिया।
I agree on these points. What I'm trying to say is that we always have this thing to tell them कि नहीं, मतलब कि sort of an excuse या हमारे माइंड के पीछे रहता है कि OCI players नहीं है इसलिए हम बेटर नहीं कर पा रहे और हमारे कॉम्पिटिटर्स जो हैं वो आगे और बेटर कर लेंगे क्योंकि दे आर चेंजिंग देयर पॉलिसीज, राइट? बट अगर ये नहीं हो रहा, मतलब हमें पता है ना कि अभी 1-2 साल भी नहीं हो रहा, तो isn't it better कि हम assume कर लें एटलीस्ट, so that we can think of better alternatives? हम वो भी नहीं कर रहे, हम
अरे
लटक
कुछ
के
कर ही नहीं रहे,
बैठे हुए
इसीलिए
हैं
तो वो
बीच में,
सोच रहे हैं कुछ नहीं, हम कुछ कर ही नहीं रहे इसलिए तो वो सोच रहे हैं। आप उल्टा सोचो ना।
Ask the simple questions. Where are the youth leagues? Simple question.
हाँ, हम
You
कर
don't
ही
need
नहीं
to ask
रहे, उसके
anything
बिना
more.
भी कुछ नहीं
Nothing
कर
more.
रहे।
Ask the AFF the question, why haven't the youth league started? They're not running. They should have started 2 months ago. And the point is that if we don't get OCIs to play for us, my concern is that we will fall behind Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh in the coming years, because these guys who are coming in have a better football education than our players. Indian Arrows is again mentioned now, was mentioned. Biggest mistake from the AFF to stop it, because it gives the exposure that the boys need before going into ISL football. And it is something that the AFF needs to find a way to convince the government to do this. I know Sri Lankan players with German citizenship. Germany does not allow dual citizenship like India. There are certain exceptions. And the Sri Lankan players have actually, and there are 3 of them. And it could be solved relatively easily if the right amendments are made to the current Citizenship Act. You could even work around it and say, listen, you don't even need an Indian passport. You declare for sporting matters your overseas citizenship of India card as a de facto dual citizenship. That would do. Because you're asking players in Europe or in North America that these guys give up their citizenship to play for India. People forget work permits, travel, this, that, everything. It gets much more complicated. Tennis is the prime example. Forget football. When this whole topic cropped up about 15, 16 years back, Indian tennis was the biggest loser. Prakash Amritraj, the Uberoi sisters, all of them kept the US passport, said, listen, we're not playing Davis Cup, Fed Cup anymore for India. We would love to, but we travel on the ATP and WTA tour throughout the year. I can't be running on a Wednesday, on a Thursday to try and get a visa for next week. And this is doing online visas now you can do nowadays, right? So this is something that needs to be considered. And the thing, it's not one point. There are so many points that we could discuss which the federation needs to work on. The national team is the end product of our football system. You can't go teach the players at the national team level of how to play football. We have players in there where you need to work on the basics.
अभी मैंने आज जो ट्वीट किया था, लोग काफी उसके बारे में बात भी कर रहे हैं। अब वियतनाम देखो, वियतनाम अंडर 18 टीम सीओल कप खेल रही है साउथ कोरिया में अगेंस्ट यूक्रेन, मोरक्को की अंडर 18 की टीम। हमारी साफ अंडर 19, साफ अंडर 16 टीम देखो, तो साफ खेलने के बाद हम नेक्स्ट साफ की प्रिपरेशन करेंगे, उसके बीच में कुछ नहीं। तो आपकी जो नेशनल यूथ टीम्स है उनको एक्सपोजर देने की जरूरत है, और यूथ लीग्स, ये दोनों नहीं होगा। आप देखिए 2017 की हमने अपनी बैच की बात की, वो टीम इतनी अच्छी क्यों है? क्योंकि उसको जो उस वर्ल्ड कप से, फीफा वर्ल्ड कप से पहले जो एक्सपोजर मिला था, आई डोंट थिंक सो कि किसी भी अभी जो इस साल भी जो एशियन कप में जो टीम पार्टिसिपेट की उसको भी उतना नहीं मिला था, क्योंकि उन्होंने खेले थे कम्पिटेटिव मैच, ना कि सिर्फ क्या बोलते क्लब के साथ फ्रेंडलीज या ऐसा कुछ खेला था। उनको जो एक्सपोजर दिया गया उसकी बाद के जितनी भी अंडर 17 बैच आई उसमें से क्यों इंडिया को ऐसे प्लेयर नहीं मिल रहा है? इक्का दुक्का मिल जाएंगे, लेकिन उस मैच से आप देखो कि हर आईएसएल क्लब में प्लेयर है, आपकी नेशनल टीम में 4-5 प्लेयर बन चुके हैं। क्यों है? क्योंकि उनको प्रॉपर वहां पे जो आपका 17 से 21 के बीच में बात करते हैं कि वो मिलना चाहिए एक्सपोजर, कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस फुटबॉल। सिर्फ आप क्या बोलते हैं कि यहाँ पे लीग करा के नहीं होगा, आपको कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस देनी पड़ेगी वो फुटबॉल में, तभी जाके वो डेवलप हो पाएंगे। तो वो वाली चीजें तो आई थिंक
Lot of other factors to work on. But
वर्क है।
because sometimes what I fear is that because we take this topic so seriously, that we tend to overlook the things that can actually be worked, जहाँ पे at least system ready है, वो हम advantage नहीं
अक्षता,
लेते, वो अलग बात है।
इसमें इसमें ये टॉपिक इसलिए हम ले लेते हैं क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ पे जो अभी करंटली जो रन कर रहे हैं स्टेट अफेयर्स, उनके ऊपर हमें भरोसा नहीं है कि ये लोग 10 साल में भी कुछ करेंगे। हम बोल सकते हैं कि 10 साल में ये हो सकता है सारी चीजें, लेकिन हमको भी पता है ये लोग कुछ नहीं करने वाले।
I
10
agree,
साल
but
भी हो जाएंगे, ये कुछ नहीं कर रहे। तो रादर देन वहां पे काम करने की बजाय एटलीस्ट अगर ये हो जाता है तो आपको थोड़ा सा होप मिल जाएगा कि आप नेक्स्ट 10 ईयर्स में आप बेटर हो सकते हैं।
but at least one positive thing is that there are a lot of individuals who are in their own capacity doing some things for Indian football, जो selflessly grassroots level पे काम कर रहे हैं। उनका नाम उतना लोगों का आउट देयर नहीं है, या मे बी वो फेडरेशन के साथ साथ हमेशा जुड़े नहीं है, बट वो काम कर रहे हैं टू डेवलप नॉट जस्ट इंडियन फुटबॉल बट अदर स्पोर्ट्स। सो आई थिंक होप तो है बिकॉज ऑफ सच सेल्फलेस पीपल जो लाइक अपनी लाइफ की अर्निंग्स उन अकेडमीज पे या उन बच्चों पे लगा देते हैं। सो देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ पॉजिटिव्स। गाइस, there will be days now going forward जहाँ पे कोई games नहीं होने वाले। So I'm sure in the upcoming week we'll have a lot of things to talk about.
Just Akshata, one thing to add. There is something when you do a roadmap or a plan, you have to have short, mid, and long term goals. Grassroots, if you start today to implement things, if you start today, it will take 15 to 20 years to give you results. But that needs to be done.
Vision तो है हमारे पास, that's a different thing, हम implement नहीं कर रहे।
No, there is no vision.
तो
Just read the document. What is the vision? There are only the goals given. How do you get to the goals? Forget implementation. How do you get to the goals? Even that is not mentioned.
Not mentioned, agree.
So that is your first problem. It's a PR pitch. It's nothing more, nothing less. But OCIs is something, if implemented, is a short-term fix through which that you can grow Indian football exponentially, because potentially you could go to a World Cup with 4 or 5 players from OCIs. If you have a Danny Bath in defense, sorted. You want as a replacement of Sunil Chetri, bring in Sean Hundal from Vancouver, who last season played with Inter Miami. You've got Jan Danda, you've got Dylan Markande, all these guys. It will improve your quality instantly. That's the thing. And this is something which needs to be worked on, and it is something which can help us. And it's not that Igor is the first one to talk about it. Stephen has spoken about it. Wim Keuvermans has spoken about it. Bob Houghton used to speak about it. And even Stephen in his first stint spoke about it. Stephen even tried it. We did try a few things. Albert Colasso, as the secretary at the time, tried a few things. Mr. Dasmunsi, despite being a central government minister, couldn't do things. That's also reality. But it is something, if we start, let's say we play Pakistan and we lose a match. it suddenly will become top of the agenda of the government, right? And that's something I don't want us to lose, but maybe you sometimes have to lose in the short term to get your long-term aims.
But considering Anuva, like from a realistic perspective, there are so many sports that are doing well in our country right now. I don't think that one match will push the government to take any action right away. There will have to be a
इसीलिए
momentum that will again have to be rebuilt, because अभी भी देखा जाए तो अभी थोड़े दिन पहले भी there was a case where kid had come to India. He was being supported by someone else who we all know. And then eventually that kid went back, right? Because उसे वो 3 4 5 महीना जितने भी दिन यहाँ था उसको दिख गया कि कुछ नहीं हो रहा है यहाँ. और फिर से like social media पे every other creator came up with content. People were trying to talk about it. नहीं हुआ, right? What I'm trying to say is that
but
that is, see, Akshata, that's not the way to do it, right?
that
And
is
I've
not
told
the
you
way
that
to
in
do
private.
it.
It's the boy has sadly been misused and exposed in a way which is not fair to him, right? And
that is
people
of
are
course not
working
the
in the
way, but
background on this topic, and these kind of PR gimmicks harm the whole topic. It doesn't help. That's
yeah,
the
but
reality, right? That was a PR gimmick, nothing more, nothing less. There are people who have been working. People don't even know these people who've been working. You mentioned people working grassroots. No, there are people working in the background on legislation. And that is something which needs to be understood. It will not be decided on Twitter or X or what you're going to say or in our conversations. It is decided in back rooms where a lot of conversations have been happening, are happening, and will happen. And the reality is OCI players will improve the Indian national team. Better Indian national team will make us better. And that is the point, right? That's the point. We want a stronger and a better national team. And the reality is we aren't. Today, you got exposed by lower level European born boys. Reality. There are third, fourth, fifth tier boys who played for Malaysia today. They're better than us. And we want players of ours to play in the top tier leagues in Europe? What are we talking about? And again, we need to make sure, also with government, that the sport of football is the only global sport. That needs to be understood.
वो सबसे पहले कन्विंस करना था. Agree, 100%.
And they did it last year. Don't forget, the government last year did everything to get rid of the FIFA ban.
Right?
that led to the FIFA ban, right? Like we did.
That's a different. Actually, that's a different conversation, and we can have that conversation again. But if
फिर बात तो वही हो जाती है.
थोड़ा सा अभी एक वीक पूरा आने वाला है, उसमें थोड़ा सा बचा के रखो. आप आज ही डिस्कस कर लोगे सारा.
Exactly my point, guys. Good time for us to wrap up the conversation.
मैं और राहुल बोर हो गए आप दोनों.
Good time to wrap up the conversation. Please subscribe to all the 4 channels and like the stream. And thank you so much for joining us again. We will be coming up with another live tomorrow night around 10 p.m. Hopefully, Shayan will join us tomorrow. So let's connect tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.